Hello everyone, my name's Shay. I am a master's student in nutrition and an international level athlete, and today we're going to be talking about how you can actually check if your diet's good. This is an interesting one because there's a lot of people online trying to tell you about nutrition and stuff, but I swear half the time they're just trying to confuse you into buying their supplements. So this is free, this is easy, and yeah, we'll get into it. So the first thing you want to do is pull up this thing, Cronometer, which is spelled Cronometer without an H for some reason. They have this new thing where they're splitting up the meals, but you don't really need to. If you go display, you can just click that off because it's more about the total by the end of the day, right, with pretty much everything. So turn that off. And this is where you're going to be able to input your diet and actually see where the gaps are, what you're doing well, etc. I did this in one take, so there are a couple things I missed, but basically Cronometer holds up the best as far as accuracy goes compared to the alternatives when compared to a professional nutritional database, which is a big bargaining point for it. And as well, the micronutrient profiling is fantastic. So it's simple enough, you just click on the food and let's just say you have some oatmeal for breakfast. Let's say 80 grams of that. Have with some milk, maybe throw in a banana there. One standard banana. And now we have a little meal there. And let's look down at the bottom now. We can see all these micronutrients and macronutrients and your calorie total. So I'm just gonna throw in a mock-up diet and then we'll have a full day of eating and then we can look at that. So I'll be back in a second. All right, we're back now with a full diet, a full day of eating that I've just made up here. And if we look down, I'm gonna cover everything briefly and a bit more in depth with the things that are actually quite important. So we'll start with calories. It may or may not be important for you. If you're comfortable at your weight and you're not trying to gain or lose, you're probably just eating what would be your maintenance. However, if you want to lose or gain weight intentionally, having knowledge of where your maintenance is, your calorie maintenance, where you're at a stable weight is important so you can add or subtract to manipulate your weight, right? So the best way to do that would be tracking your calories alongside your weight, and if your weight's the same at, say, 3,000 calories, that would be your weight maintenance, okay? Next thing is macronutrients we have here on the right. So this is just your protein, your carbs, and your fat. And a lot of people get really antsy about the split between carbs and fat. It's not that important. As long as you have enough carbs, particularly some before training to fuel your session, and as long as your fats are not too low, because otherwise you might crash your hormones, then these are probably fine. As far as protein goes, this site has a reasonably high target for the protein. If you're hitting around 80% on this site, you're probably fine. You might want to go for more if you're intentionally trying to build muscle, because you actually need that to grow, right? And yeah, if we go down here, there's a bit of a breakdown for the fat as well. There's unsaturated and saturated. There's also trans as well, but trans are terrible and you can't really find them anywhere because most people think they're poison, which they kind of are. So basically saturated is gonna be in things like meats and animal products. Unsaturated is more so found in plants. Unsaturated is better for you, but if you're at a healthy body weight and you exercise a lot, some saturated fats isn't probably gonna risk too much because it risks cardiovascular disease, but you're not gonna run into that at if you're a healthy 20-year-old, right? But either way, unsaturated is better. It manages your lipid profile better, like cholesterol and everything. Omegas are sometimes harder to get. They are anti-inflammatories, like some other things like vitamin E. They're helpful, so if you're getting none of them, I might want to look into that as well. Protein we've been over, it breaks down all the individual aminos, but that's sort of whatever. Let's look into vitamins and minerals, your micronutrients. I think these are so underrated. When you're actually checking all the boxes, you feel so much better. And people seem to neglect them. They think, okay, if I'm eating enough protein, I must be eating a good diet. That's not really the case. Basically, most of these we need for your cells to optimally function and signal between each other, all of the above. So Basically, if you're missing some of these, your body isn't operating at the rate it's meant to, and once you sort that out, you will feel fantastic, trust me. So vitamins, B vitamins are easy to get, and a thing with Chronometer I'll go over now. If you hover over like the percentage, it'll tell you where you're actually getting the thing. So B12 is found in animal products, so of course it's saying, okay, I'm getting it from the beef. If I hover over the nutrient, then it tells you what it does and where to get it, which is really important for identifying how you can actually improve some of the metrics in your diet. And you can pretty much do this for anything on the site, which is great, because if you want to learn more about nutrition, it's like a one-stop shop, so that's great. I'll touch on vitamin D as well. You're probably going to have vitamin D that's a lot lower than everything else, but vitamin D is the one that you can get in response to UV light from the sun, so it doesn't all have to come from your diet, and it usually doesn't because it's quite hard to get. UV light is higher in the summer and it's lower in the winter, but you can store a lot if you built it up over summer, and it'll slowly disperse over winter. So if you see a lot of sunlight in the summer, you'd probably be okay, but you can always get it tested or just get a supplement if you're really worried about it, if you train like indoors all the time, because the supplements are really safe and they don't cost too much. We'll go down to minerals as well. These are, a lot of them are just metals. Some things here aren't too important, like copper or phosphorus, but the big hitters are calcium, iron, and I'd say zinc, particularly zinc for men because it is required for testosterone production. But those are the main three I would focus on. And again, you can evaluate what you're getting them from, how to get more of them. And my biggest piece of advice here would be track your diet over the course of a week. I would recommend getting a pocket scale. If you're not very meticulous with it, you will probably be able to identify the gap still, because it's going to be low either way, regardless of if you're over or underestimating a little bit. But I'd recommend just stick it out for a week. I know it's a bit annoying, but this will let you identify what holes you have in your diet, and it makes it really easy to fix that way. Whereas if you just, evaluate one day, maybe it's a day you didn't eat any meat, then you're gonna have B12, which is at 0, pretty much. And, but that might not be, that might not be representative of your whole week, right? So check over the whole week and say if your calcium is at 50% over the course of the whole week, it's like, okay, I need to fix that. Whereas if it's just down one day, you'll be fine. It's more of a weekly thing. That would be my advice. And I'd target one thing at a time. It might be a bit daunting if you have to uproot your whole diet at once, but let's just say, okay, my calcium sucks. What am I gonna do? Okay, eat some dairy, easy enough. Let's throw in an extra serving of milk or cheese or whatever. Oh, my zinc sucks. Well, let's eat a little bit more meat, okay? It's that simple. That's basically all you need to know. It's, yeah, you would think there's a lot more to it. There's a few more things you can fine tune, but on a basic level, this is all there is. So if you have any questions, leave them down below, and hope you learned something. I'll see you next time.